Voracious moves in. The field of 13 locked and loaded for the first at Eagle Farm. Ready to begin. All set. Racing. Jumped at a good line. More trouble in the centre of the line. One of the first to go. Voracious and Aratiri showing their customary speed. And Becamo, he's fourth away. Croupier and Ludovisi go forward. Downey about midfield on the inside on settling down. Followed by El Pensador, who just got tightened there. Strike the Hearts midfield off the track 3 and 4 deep. Then Liberty Park, Piraeus, give it ample time to settle down third last. Noble Conqueror second last. And French Endeavour, she's 2 lengths away in last position. 1100 left to run. They sort themselves out and Aratiri bowls to the front. Leads Voracious, happy to let it go, and Voracious trails by length and a quarter. Croupier found the inside in third, Ludovisi fourth the outer. Just behind that pair was Strike the Heart. 2 lengths away then a line of 3, Becamo 3 deep, around More Trouble in the centre and Downey inside the pair being followed by Liberty Park. El Pensador between runners, Piraeus 3 wide but has cover and still the last pair, Noble Conqueror and French Endeavour, but now closer to the leaders, about 8 lengths top end to tail. By the 600 metres, they travel towards the home turn. Aratiri a long shot led narrowly. Voracious almost level and Strike the Heart. It's had a wide and tough run trying to come after the pair. Croupier just behind them needing a run. Ludovisi gets a gap to run on. Then Becamo. Here's French Endeavour and Piraeus. They're putting in strong runs right down the outside. Voracious reach the lead briefly. Croupier gets up on the inside. Then Ludovisi. Piraeus and French Endeavour still running on. There's nearly 5 in line. It's a keen finish for the opener. On the outside, Piraeus might be coming home the best. Piraeus on the outside got to the lead and won from Voracious and Ludovisi in the centre, and Croupier not far away. Liberty Park best work late. French Endeavour loomed but peaked. Then Downey followed by More Trouble. Well back was Noble Conqueror, Becamo, Aratiri, Strike the Heart and El Pensador out towards the tail.
Well, Richard and Will Freedman here with Piraeus. They've just got the key to finding the right races up here.
They do.
Didn't have a lot of luck last week, but today they've got the cash with this guy who broke a run of 12 outs. It's tight for second, Ludovisi and Voracious in that photo.
And then it looks like we might have the 3-year-old Croupier back on the fence.
Yes, he sort of got himself into a handy position, a little bit tight for room, but coming right up the middle, Piraeus, ridden by Tim Clark, takes out the opener here at Eagle Farm. So we're just waiting for the official placings, and we'll flash those numbers as soon as they become available.
All right, Richard and Will Freedman take out race 1 here and get their Winter Carnival kick-started with the favourite Piraeus. BJ Smith is the man in charge when they deliver their horses to Brisbane, and I know you just love it so much, BJ.
Yeah, it's good to be winning again. No, they send them up fit and well, and they thrive. So in the Queensland weather, I think.
Yeah, I mean he's a pretty neat little horse.
Yeah, he's a nice staying type, isn't he? Mm-hmm. They thought it might be a bit short, but he's got a bit of ability.
Well, yeah, obviously he spreaded well here today. And
Zoo Baby last week, she was a bit stiff. She's well, so they got 2 or 3 here for the carnival. I hope.
Are there more to come, do you think?
I think there'll be a couple more coming.
What are you going to do if are you going to come out of retirement to look after these horses?
I think I have to if I can find the space boxes for them. Yeah.
Beautiful work. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, Nob.
And go and have a glass of wine or something in there. All right, we'll have a chat with TC Clark, obviously back here in Brisbane. Well done, TC. Produced beautifully, obviously, by the team Freedman.
Yeah, well, really well placed up here. He's been racing really consistently and doesn't win out of turn, but he got his opportunity today and he was good enough to seize that opportunity.
Wasn't much spreading the first 4 horses, obviously all looking for perhaps a little bit further.
Look, he appreciated a nice bit of tempo. He was able to just creep into the race and not be too far off them and not have too much to do. So it was a good tough effort.
We didn't see the jockeys spread like we have over the last few weeks.
Well, the rail's out a long way as it is, so obviously working with a fair bit less track and probably out to, from the rail out, it's probably all good ground.
Well done.
Thank you.
Ready to break.
Let me know when you're right then.
Floozy just made a slight run to the gates, off and racing now. And Floozy came away about third or fourth. The Muntz pair were first and second into stride. That's Hermanita and Heroic Miss. Heroic Miss going to the lead, but not for long. Look at On Point with high speed. Dashed around the field and went to a clear lead. On Point down the side, 900 left to run. Led by 2.5 to Hermanita, or to Heroic Miss. Hermanita in third. Going up 3 wide was Lady Wardell, but no cover, she's exposed. Followed then by Fearless Thinking. Now Floozy, she's at about midfield, one off the fence between runners as the pace slackens mid-race. Then came Girl over on the inside of Yendi, and the second favourite, Field of Myrtle last, 6 off the lead. Travelling up to the turn, 500 left to run. On Point in her favourite roll. Straight from Heroic Miss on the outside. Lady Wardell's done it tough. Going back to the inside now was Hermanita. Floozy looking for the way clear and about to get a gap, and the others were headed by Girl. They go down towards the 200 metres though. On Point led. Floozy claimed it. Still there on the outside was Heroic Miss, but now Floozy goes into another gear. Heads for the run of the judge. A widening margin. She's not cheap, Floozy. She's classy. Floozy first. Beat home Heroic Miss, Hermanita and On Point. Then Field of Myrtle, followed by Yendi, Girl, and the last pair, Lady Wardell and Fearless Thinking.
So 4-1, 3 and 2. 4-1 up on the frame. Floozy, ridden by Ange Jones. Nice ride by Ange too. The tempo was pretty quick. You could see On Point, who may have hesitated slightly. She really did zoom around the outside to take up the lead. And Ange was able to get off the rails, keeping Lady Waddell, it was, out 3 deep on the track. And she had beautiful cover there, travelling strongly. It looked like she wanted to get around heels of the horse in front at the top of the straight, then had to shift back because there was a gap there that you could have driven a semi-trailer through. And Ange sits up on her close to the line, and that is why she was $1.45. Heroic Miss has held on to get second under that 60 kilos, so top performance. On Point is just holding down third at this point with Hermanita on the rails, closing off. And there we see Field of Myrtle from back, finishing around about 5th. But all honours with the winner again, Floozy. She's a good-looking mare, Bernie. We're looking at them turning into the straight here. She's right behind Heroic Miss at this point. Then the big gap starts to appear for her.
Thank you, Maxie. All right, I'm sure Tony Gollan's very fond of this Floozy, Tone.
Yeah, I've got a real thing for Floozies, that's for sure. She's a ripper, this mare, isn't she? She just goes through the grades nicely. She's got a really good feel about her. Even going into that first up run, I felt she's a mare, even though her rating wasn't high, that if we could win early with her, we could get her to some good mares races during the carnival. And I think what we've seen today shows that. I'd love to back her up in the silk stocking next Saturday at the Gold Coast if that's the way the cards fall for me. But she's definitely better level in this benchmark racing.
She's got a pretty cool demeanour about her. She looks easy to deal with.
Yeah, she's a beauty. At home without the blinkers on, even when I trialled her and jumped her out, she just goes through emotions. And I just felt when I put those shades on a race day that she was going to be a different beast. And that's exactly how it's happened. She just travels so sweet for Anne. She finds a spot. She can posse up just off speed. And she's got that really good turn of foot. She can stretch out to 1,400. It'll be no problem for her. As you can see in the yard, she's come on significantly in a fortnight. She's a big, strong girl. And we're nowhere near the bottom of her yet, so she's quite an exciting mare. She reminds me a lot of a Comrade Rosa when she was going through the grades a couple of winters ago.
Speaking of Comrade Rosa, she goes round in the Archer tomorrow.
Yeah, she does. It's great to be part of the big race up there in Central Queensland with 2 runners, $1 million slot race. It's fantastic. So Comrade Rosa with Craig Williams on board, Transatlantic with Regan Bayliss. I think we've got a pretty good hand up there.
Well done, Tone.
Thank you.
All right, there he is. Off on his winning way is our leading trainer, Tony Gollan, with Floozy, the 4. 4 beats 1, 2 and 3. Home into slick, 33.45 people. A neat 110.04. If that's not a good 4, I'm not here today.
Displaced by Deep Respect for favouritism. Deep Respect 350, Sergio 370. They're all in. The light is on. Ready for the third at Eagle Farm. Racing. They jumped at a good line. Deep Respect, in fact, was one of the first to go. He's Heaven's got good early speed. Driving up there, Maximum Vortex soon after the start, and Shot of Whiskey rushing across from a wide alley. Acres away, about 4th or 5th away, then Super Duck. A few lengths to Sir Joe. TC's got a midfield outside of Bring Me Cash, 2 to Hika. Then came Cool, Mio Soretto, Starry Eyes, Fighting Idol, and Eagle Hawk Star. They're spread it over 10 lengths, 700 left to run, and a good and genuine gallop. He's Heaven, 3/4 Shot of Whiskey, a Maximum Vortex, 2-away third, the box seat. Deep Respect in a good 4th, then Super Duck. Sir Joe on the improve, making Acres Away go wider as they round the turn. Then came Bring Me Cash, Hika, Mio Soretto, Cool Hook wide, then Fighting Idol, Starry Eyes, and Eagle Hawk Star. He's Heaven with a fair kick, 300 left to run. Trying hard, Shot of Whiskey, then Deep Respect, Sir Joe. He starts to dig in deep and chase hard, and a gap to Acres Away. He's Heaven in front, trying to grip on, but I'd say they've got him now. Deep Respect and Sir Joe. The favourites pull away. They pair off. Who wants it more? Photo, Sir Joe or Deep Respect from He's Heaven in 3rd, possibly Super Duck 4th, Fighting Idol not far away, then Maximum Vortex, Bring Me Cash, Acres Away, followed by, at the head of the others, Starry Eyes, Mio Soretto, Cool, Shot of Whiskey, Eagle Hawk Star, and Hika last home. Sir Joe, has he got the bob in on the line? He may well have.
Yeah, it looks like a nose margin over Deep Respect and about a further length away to He's Heaven, who led and gave a really good kick, but you can see the other two coming after He's Heaven, and they're forded out. Maybe Sir Joe on the outside, but nothing is on the frame as yet. Sir Joe, trained by Rob Heathcote, ridden by Tim Clark, and Deep Respect is Kelly Schweder and Jag Gutman Chester. You see them pairing off at this point, and number 9 gets up Sir Joe. Sir Joe on the outside, number 9 is the winner, beating Deep Respect, and He's Heaven back in 3rd. 4th, there is a further photo. Acres Away is trying to hold down that spot. And then over on the inside, Super Duck. I don't know what happened with Super Duck coming towards the home bend. Seemed to lose its balance. Good to see Fighting Idol running on the outside, number 14. Maximum Vortex got involved in that speed battle. Probably better off coming out of it by a couple of lengths. He had nothing left at the end. Bernie, Sir Joe takes out race 3 today.
Yeah, what a great little racehorse he has been. Well, he's not little. He's a big lump of a guy, and there was nothing between these two. It was really quite admirable to watch. Neither horse wanted to give in. There was just a nose between them in the end. They ran 1:9.73, 34.64. Jared Coetzee joins us for a chat, and as I say, a real admirable win, wasn't it?
It was, and Tim Clark gave him a perfect ride too. Great steer. I mean, last run you have to forgive him. He just got too far back with that slowly run race, but such a team effort to get this horse here. He's had a few little setbacks, and he lives in nice boots, and the team just done such a great job on him. And yeah, he's finally paid dividends for such a great bunch of owners. Been very loyal to us, and very happy for them and the team.
He's also really quite deep into his campaign and still performing at his best.
And that's one we've got to thank for Rob. He manages him really well. He's had a few little freshens up here and there, which does a world of good for him. And he's a big horse, so you can't leave him out too long. So no, but that was fantastic. And as I say, very happy for the ownership group.
Enjoy the win. Well done.
Thanks so much, Bernie.
There is stable foreman for Rob Heathcote, Jared Coetzee. So 9 narrowly beats 5, 4 and 13. That's it.
Thanks, Bernie. They're set to go. Starter at the ladder. Switches on the red light. Ready to break. They're racing. Warp Speed off the inside made his typical good start. Caprice de Dieu began well, as did the Right Way, clearing that pair early. Victory Win 4th away, and Political Debate rolling forward soon after the start, as is Demon Dar, but he's trying to find a spot. Currently he's 3 deep. Then Red Top, Fleur de Monde to touch worse than midfield on the rail. Then Rising Pacific, yet he moves. Manzois and Caruto settles down last. That's the first call. They've gone through the first 400 metres. The plan was to ride Political Debate more forward, and they've executed executed that perfectly, straight to the front. The right way takes the trail and sits in second. 2 away third, Caprice de Dieu. 3 away, Victory Win, the favourite fourth. Outside of Warp Speed, fifth on the fence. 2.5 away then came Red Top, Demon Darb. He's in for a tough trip. He's in centre field, but he's exposed 3 wide. Meanwhile, Fleur de Monde just chugs along on the rail. Then Rising Pacific, Yet He Moves, Manzois and Caruto. 10 lengths, first to last, down the side, passing Racecourse Village, just over 800 left to run. Political Debate led the right way, rather than sitting behind it. Now it comes to the outside to be on the outside of Political Debate and put some pressure on. Caprice de Dieu still in third, and Willow, he's given Victory Win a perfect run in transit, poised in fourth and ready to go. Demon Darb always wide, Rising Pacific on the way forward, travelling into the picture. Then Warp Speed, Red Top, Fleur de Monde with work to do. Yet He Moves, Manzois and Caruto, they were the last trio. Fully homeward bound now on the right way, went away from Political Debate, who was the first beaten. Victory Winners trying hard, so is Demon Darb. Rising Pacific is still running on, and Manzois down the outside. Despite the steadier of 60, Rising Pacific reached a narrow lead, now starts to forge clear. Another win for Gollan. Rising Pacific too good. Miners, Manzois the right way prominent, Yet He Moves not far away with Warp Speed, and Victory Win not seeing out the distance well enough. Then came Caruto, followed by Red Top. Demon Darb punctured after a wide run admittedly. Then Political Debate, followed by Caprice de Dieu, and Fleur de Monde has failed to complete the track. Rising Pacific having a freshen up. He was too strong for them, 60 kg and all. Gives Tony Gollan a training double, successful with Floozy of the second, and now coming up trumps with Rising Pacific. We haven't seen him since the 22nd of March.
All right, David, Manzois gets second, so 1 beats 3, and we're just waiting for third and fourth. So he's carried the weight all right. He's run the trip right out. Great performance there by Rising Pacific to hold on and score. Manzois running on strongly to get that second spot. There is a protest at Hawkesbury. To Greg in just a moment. We just want to get the miners here. Now, we're just waiting for third and fourth. I do think that Fleur de Monde has gone amiss there in the home straight. She's been pulled out of the race at about the 200 metres mark. Alrighty, here they are turning into the straight once again. We've got Rising Pacific, one from the outside, ridden by Andrew Mallion. Andrew gets on with these horses that need to come off the bit. He has been known to get a bit keen once upon a time in his races, this guide, but he's going great guns at the moment, and he chalks up another victory. Now, I'm just getting third and fourth through. It's 1, 3, 12.
All right, let's have a chat with your leading trainer again, Tony Gollan. And what a win, what a ride, what a training effort by everybody combined here. Rising Pacific developing into a very nice middle distance horse.
Yeah, he is. I've always wanted to get him out past the mile. I mean, he's always had the pedigree and the lungs and all that sort of stuff for it, but he just never had the temperament. He was always wanting to rush through things and just overdo things way too much. This preparation, we've just seen a better horse. I mentioned a few runs ago, just getting a bit of continuity with the jockey on his back all the time, a track work rider like young Christine who rides him every day, and getting these good 4 tracks. These are really what he wants, and the race was always going to set up perfect for him. The only nerves I had coming into this was the fact that we were here by default, not by design, Bernie. We were meant to be the listed race last week and weather struck. So he's done a great job, the horse. He's just so much better and improved horse than what he was 6 months ago. I can't say any more about him.
What about at the 500 when he gave him a little niggle and he was going to bounce straight up there and he had to say, we'll just wait a little? Yeah,
well, look, Andrew's such a patient rider, and you know, we knew that we'd be following the right sort of horses. The race couldn't have mapped any better. It was always just going to be the case where the Rising Pacific was going to allow himself to get the trip, you know, and once he did that, you know, through the first 3 furlongs of the race, I think it was pretty easy to watch the second half.
He's 5 now, Rising 6. Are you going to push on with Journey with this horse and really see what you can stretch out to?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a very good question. It's hard because he just has to race on good 4s or 5s. You know, he can't get anything worse. You just don't see him anywhere near his best. So I'm really weather dependent. He hasn't run for 5 weeks or something into today. So
didn't matter, Tony.
No, it didn't, Burn. I mean, that's sort of the system we got with him, and it's working well. But yeah, I'm not sure if we go any further. But he was obviously very adept at that trip.
Awesome work. Well done, Tone.
Thank you.
Mr. Eagle Farm, let's have a chat to him. 60 kilos, it was always going to look, you know, Well, it looked on paper a little bit tough, but gosh, you had so much horse under you at the 500. I saw you give a little press of the button and he was going to bounce straight up there.
Yeah, look, all I wanted to do today, going to 1800 for the first time and, 6 weeks between runs was just getting to relax the first part of the race, which he did. As soon as I found a bum, he switched off lovely, and then I was just waiting for Demon Barb to go, and when he took off, I popped to get on his back, and he was ready to go top. I sort of said, "Hey, mate, let's count to 10." But he just moved into the race really well, and I just wanted to get a drag into it, just going to 1800. You're never sure until they do it, so I didn't want to be sort of presenting him at the top of the straight. I wanted to suck up and just make the last part of my race the best, and he showed a really nice turn of speed. I suppose it was, we've got to tip our hat to his track work rider, Christine. She's done a fantastic job with him. She's probably making me look better than what I am because he's relaxing so well. But now that he's starting to relax, we'll be able to stretch him out. And I think there's a nice race for him if that's back over a mile.
Absolutely. Well done.
Thanks, Ben.
Ten, 11, 4 and 3.
And here's David.
Set race 5 at Eagle Farm. There's the light. They're racing. Tavs was one of the first to go, the favourite. Substantial began well. Red Zeus and Cadetship are up handy early. Blackbacks and Secret Plan, they're travelling forward as well. So they'll sort themselves out. Flashing Steel landing midfield. A few lengths away, Felix the Scat, then Anna McCoray, No and a Deal. And the plan was to ride Mississippi Prince back in the field. They've done that all right. It's 3 lengths away last. Into the first bend, 900 left to Rana, and Secret Plan takes control. Leads Blackbacks by a length, and Tavs third the box seat. Flashing Steel fourth. He can't get in. He's 3 wide. He's exposed there. Substantial travelling up to a fairly handy fifth. One off the rail. 2 lengths away, Cadetship outside of Red Zeus. Now, Mississippi Prince making a mid-race move 3 wide. Anna McCoray coming away from the rail, putting Felix the Scat a bit deeper and towards the tail, No and a Deal. But they're bunched. Only 4 lengths top end to tail at the point of the turn. 450 left to run. The leader on straightening was Secret Plan from Blackbacks. Now, Tav's coming between the pair. He's got plenty to offer the favourite. Then came Cadetship, Flashing Steel dropping off, and Anna McCoray's trying to get a runner, but soon after Tavs shot to a clear lead, and it looked all over Red Rover. Short of 200 left to run, scooting away from its rivals. Red Zeus runs on gamely, looking good for the Quinella, but Tavs back-to-back wins, bolted in. Red Zeus second. Third, I'd say Secret Plan, just from Substantial. Then Anna McCoray, Felix the Scat, No and a Deal. At the head of the others was Cadetship, Mississippi Prince, Flashing Steel and Blackbacks last over the line.
Well, just rinse and repeat from 7 days ago. Exactly the same, where he did a bit of work today, was up there. On paper, it didn't look to be much tempo going on, but they went pretty quickly. Eventually, Secret Plan took it up, and then after about 400 metres, backed it off, and then Callow had it under control with Tavs, the heavily back favourite, right behind the leaders, swinging all the way. The gap appeared. He wasn't sure inside, outside. He eventually made the decision, and then he's put a margin on them in the home straight. Red Zeus running on again to get that second spot. So holding down second, and Secret Plan back in third. He sort of controlled things from the front, and then we had Substantial. Anna McCoray had a checkered passage up the running, and then he was sort of put off his game, couldn't regather thereafter. No and a Deal wide out with the white cap might pay to follow later in the carnival over further. But look, I think they can probably raise the bar a little bit with this horse Tavs. It's been a demolition job, Bernie. I know it's been good grade, but he might be up to something a little bit better going forward.
Well, he could well be, Maxie. Mark not here, so Ben's having a chat today. So firstly, congratulations on the back-to-back 7-day apart wins.
It was a bit of a concern. Obviously, he went so well last week. We just were a bit cautious about bringing him back in 7 days' time. But at the nomination stage, the race looked pretty winnable. And then when he drew so well, and he'd obviously done well through the week, we thought we'd bring him down.
So he's winning these races sort of so convincingly. You must have sort of some thoughts of better races.
Oh, for sure. We'll probably keep our cards close to our chest and just see how he pulls up. But we're pretty realistic that he hasn't been beating a lot, but obviously he's been doing it very well visually. So we'll just see how he pulls up and plot out a plan from there.
Exciting times ahead for Tavs, and enjoy the ride, Ben.
Thank you.
Well done to the Team Curry there with Tavs. Yeah, he's earned himself. Noel Callow wins again on Tavs just 7 days later. Gosh, that was smooth. Do you get paid for that?
Yeah, I do. But I sat in a bath for about 2 hours to ride him at 56.5. That's about my minimum. But he's flying, this horse. Last prep I rode him once. He should have won by a minute. Tried to ride for luck at Doomben and learnt my lesson there. But 2 more goes now and he's just flying. He's going better than ever. Mark's got him going really well. So, it's just a pleasure to ride. I was never going to get beat at all in that race.
Team Curry keeping their cards close to their chest, not wanting to really let out where they might be aiming him. But to what height do you think does he give you the feel for at the moment?
With a lightweight, he could win a nice race. He won't have me on his back, but the way he's going, with a lightweight in a nice race, he could win one of them. I don't know the name of the race, but he could win one of them, and it'd be probably worth good money to him. So I'm good to be on at this stage, Ryan. Thanks, Bernie.
Well done.
Thanks, Bernie.
Once it got to a backable price.
Listed Dalrello, they're set. Stand by for a break at the 1,000 metres. Starter having a careful look at them. Hits the lever. They're racing now. Darn Hot Lady began brilliantly from barrier 2 straight to the early lead. Milestone well away. Get Ready Last third into stride. And fourth was Cool Archie, followed by Uterus Piarada. A few lengths away then came The Bear, followed by Midnight Spirit. Talk to Me Shores in the second half of the field and covering ground. Gobi Desert behind those at Amosu. Run off its feet 3 lengths away last. Up to the turn. 500 left to run. Darn Hot Lady flying along in front, leaves the rail. Milestone's got room to come through. Uterus Piarada. Wider of the track, Get Ready Last. Now Cool Archie is trying to bust into the clear, and Talk to Me Sure is thundering down the centre of the track. They've got 250 left to run. Cool Archie went up on the outside of Milestone, then Darn Hot Lady, followed by wider of the track. Talk to Me Sure still putting in, but it's Cool Archie in front. Talk to Me Sure will have the last shot. The leader is still Cool Archie, holding on, gripping on. Cool Archie won the Dalrello. They Talk to Me Sure had its chance. Midnight Spirit, I'd say, snatched third. Then The Bear, followed by Milestone and Mosu, made up a lot of ground. Then Get Ready Last, Darn Hot Lady, Uterus Piarada, and Gobi Desert last over the line.
Well, Cool Archie, he's tough, this guy. He's old school Cool Archie, and he's been able to beat Talk to Be Sure. I think Cool Archie's drifted out many horses in the home straight, but it didn't matter. He was holding Talk to Be Sure, and then a gap away to third. It looks like that's possibly Midnight Spirit ahead of Get Ready Last. Now the 6. Mosu, what happened to her? I just noticed her back, way back, coming towards the home bend and very wide. Well, Cool Archie, he's come back, an even better horse by the looks of it. Trained by Chris and Corey Muntz here at Eagle Farm, ridden by Martin Harley. The head-on will tell the story. I reckon he shifted out about 5 horses, and you can see the heels of Harley going. Persuader in the right hand, just flailing. And he's been able to get up and score. The runner-up was very good there. He was obliged to race 3 deep. Talk to Be Sure. He let down nicely. He'll really come on from that. And Amosu, we'll have to get some sort of report to see what happened through the first half there. But Bernie, he's a lovely horse, this fellow. He's by Cool as a Beal, Cool Archie. He's a cool customer. He's just running away there. Actually, he shifted out about 8 horses.
He did. He was a bit wild late, but I think it was his experience that helped him a long way in this race. Let's have a chat to his winning trainer, Chris Muntz. You'd be stoked to be winning a stakes race with this fellow.
Yeah, it's good. It's great for Max too. You know, he's got this horse on his own and he wanted to have one with me, so it's good that this colt's been able to win a stakes race for him. And look, he was a bit fresh today. I was a bit surprised he raced that close. I didn't expect him to be there, but I could see in the parade ring he was a bit above himself, so he's only going to improve again off this. I tell you what, he's a tough little bugger. He got buffeted at the start and then on the corner and still kicked on strong, so it's a credit to him.
Maybe lucky he was on the fresh side, but we saw him sort of luckless out the back or midfield in a couple of 1,200 metre races last preparation. Yeah,
look, I think he's getting a bit more mentally wiser. Yeah, good word. A bit mentally wiser and more mature, I suppose. He's a race-fit horse now, and you know, the last 100 metres obviously helped him coming from a 1,200 metre first-up win to this.
What trip are you going to think he's going to get out to this preparation? Which races are you targeting?
Oh, look, he was always going to go on that Sire's sort of JJ path. So he'll go to the Doomben Slipper, the Spirit of Boom there in 2 weeks' time, and then into the Size and JJ. So they're the race he'll be targeted for.
And is he sort of cool and calm at home, like his name suggests?
He's the quietest horse. You could put a child on him and he wouldn't turn a hair. But I was actually a bit surprised when I seen him in the parade ring bouncing the way he was. Yeah.
Well, that's a good sign for 1,000 anyway. Well done.
Thanks, Bernie.
All right, there he is, Chris Marns. Superstar jockey, and he is equally as good at training. Number 1, Cool Archie, beats the favourite. 2, Talk to Be Sure. Just a little bit of inexperience still with this favourite. His time will come. 12 and 9, 57.88, home in 34.15. That's it for the Dalrello. Some great Group 2 racing to come here in Brisbane, but for now. All right, let's have a chat to the Irishman yet again. Another stakes race for winning jockey Martin Harley, and what was he doing at the end? Having a party?
Yeah, correct. I actually ended up getting there too soon, Bernie. But we're obviously a little bit worried coming back to 1,000 metres. I did think the drying track was a very big positive. At Doomben the other day, I said to you, did I think on a better surface he quicken better, which he did, but 150 run, he pricked his ears, and when Andrew joined him, he got on with the job again.
Yeah, he's sort of not used to being in front that far out, is he?
No, correct. And I was to blame for that more than him.
Obviously, he's heading towards a race like the JJ. What are your thoughts on him, getting to 13.50 and a mile?
To be honest, you can actually, every question you ask him, he answers, and if you take him back, he relaxes. He's a very kind, good-minded horse, and I think he'll be okay. I don't know what it takes to win a JJ, but I'll be happy to stay on him for sure.
Race up. And there's also obviously good money for Wonder Boy there too.
We had a heavy downpour. It has stopped just prior to this race. I'm with the filly, Churchill's Choice, to beat 4, 1 and 2. Heavy support for Shangri-La Spring, Bernie, and has been the best back clearly.
Here's David.
They're set. Ready to break. Racing. Imperialist came out clumsily. Last out, Super Alloy first to go. Oriente, the roughies, got speed, and Shangri-La Spring came out well. Pushing forward steadily, and Wonder Boy is right up there as well. Interjection about 5th away. Then Depth of Character, followed by Beau Dazzler. He's nice and handy fresh. Followed by Churchill's Choice, drifting back Tardelli. Then Warrior for Peace, Boomtown Boss, our benefactor, and Imperialist is last of all. That's the first call with just over 1,000 left to run, and Tim Clark takes Shangri-La Spring to the lead as they reach that first bend. Heavily back to win the race, and it's now in control. Racing second, Wonder Boy. So the big guns of the market, 1-2 as they approach the halfway mark. Super Alloy with a decent run in third. A length and a half away fourth, Oriente, and Depth of Character. He's parked 5th on the rail. 2 lengths away, Churchill's Choice. 3 wider and Interjection. Beau Dazzler the rail, then Tardelli. Boomtown Boss. Langers now latching onto the back of Churchill's Choice, trying to get a ride into the race. Well back approaching the turn, Warrior for Peace. Then our benefactor, and last of all, Imperialist. Straightening for home, Shangri-La Spring. Turned into the straight. Senate sights on the judgment. Wonder Boy is tackling strongly on the outside. Followed then by Depth of Character, coming up menacingly 3 wide. Wider was Churchill's Choice. Shangri-La Spring still in front. Wonder Boy can't get it, but Depth of Character might have the pair, and Churchill's Choice is still running on. 100 left to run though. Depth of Character surged to the lead. It looked all over. You know why? It is all over. Depth of Character bolted in. Won the Guineas easily. Beat Churchill's Choice. Third, Beau Dazzler and Eyecatcher. Shangri-La Spring peak late. Our benefactor running on. Then Wonder Boy, Boomtown Boss, Tardelli. Warrior for Peace, Super Alloy, Imperialist, Oriente, and Interjection, the last one home.
Well, he deserved that Group 2 victory, Depth of Character. He's good, this horse. He's tough. He just minds his own business. Caddo put him into a beautiful position there, and he's just gapped them. The filly was terrific, Churchill's Choice. Once you analyse, it was a bit of a tricky race for her. Beau Dazzler, excellent going forward, and then Shangri-La Spring. There they are, 4-16-5-1 after the Sky Racing Queensland Guineas. So Noel Caddo, he just, he's got his second wind in life as a jockey. They want him. They want to book him. All the big stables. He had a big day last Saturday and he's carried on today. This horse was very strong throughout there. You could see Callow swinging off him all the way, yet his feet on the dashboard. And when he let him loose, he went whooshka at the top of the straight. He presents him 3 out at this point. The 2 leaders there, Shangri-La Spring and Wonder Boy under pressure. Now Callow says go, Persuader in the right hand. He puts a bit of a margin on them. And then we see the filly wide out on the track, really starting to wind up Churchill's Choice. I thought she was very good under the circumstances. Boomtown Boss, he had a bit of a wide trip there. That's him right of screen. So there's a bit to take on board there of the beaten brigade, but he deserved his day in the sunshine, Bernie. Depth of character.
Yeah, depth of character. A great win and a great ride by Noel Callow there as well. Let's have a chat with Annabelle Archibald. I love it. It's got a lovely ring to it, doesn't it? Congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you. And, nice to top it off with that.
Yeah, let's talk about this horse. Obviously, he carried 61.5 kilos to win here last start, which was an enormous effort. So he was advantaged today coming back to a set weight race.
Yeah, he was. But I actually thought he might be a little bit shorter in the market just with his Sydney form. You know, 2 starts back, he was very good behind Evaporate and Swift Falcon. And, you know, he was still pretty good in the Guineas as well, but just, you know, not quite as good as the broadsidings of the world. But, you know, back in grade last start with a big weight just gave him a bit of confidence, and it was a lovely ride by Noel. He'd done his research. He knew that he can get a little bit fired up, and I actually was a bit worried he was travelling too well, but once he peeled him out at the top of the straight, it was just a matter of holding him together and pressing the button at the right time.
He was definitely travelling well between the half mile and the 500, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. So, look, great effort. China Horse Club are in the horse. Sash down in Melbourne. There's a great crew involved in him. There's a few owners based up in Brisbane as well. So, see where we go to now. It's obviously, there's no real mile races. It's whether you go up or down. I'm not sure you'd go up. So I'll see what Noel says. But, yeah, brilliant to get a Group 2 win with him.
Group 2 winner here at Eagle Farm. Are you more likely maybe to try and target the Stradbroke?
Well, maybe. Have a look at maybe the Fred Best, but that's just thinking off the top of my head. He's been in a while, but he's racing so well. He seems to love it up here. He came up as a 2-year-old, and I'm sure that, you know, that travelling as a young horse probably holds them in good stead as well.
And you're a star. Well done.
Thank you.
She is a star. She's a wonderful star. Do we have time for a quick question with Noel Callow? Let's have a look at the time. 1:34.93, 35.33. Well, you can't retire now, Noel.
Long time retired. Just tried to enjoy my life, but the game said to me, we're not going to put you on if you're just going to enjoy your life. So been doing the hard yards, and second ride I've ever had for Annabelle, and the first one was a pick-up one day in a maiden at Sunshine Coast, and absolutely give it a Shohazen ride. So I didn't think I'd have another ride, and I was lucky that the old J-Mac got robbed out in Hong Kong, and Pug took another ride, and I was the last one standing out of the 8 and got the cash. So I don't think I'll have a derby ride, but I'll be trying my best to have a derby ride.
He was obviously travelling pretty keenly. Do you think it'd be better to stick around this or even come back to the Fred Best or step up to the derby trip?
I'll leave that to Annabelle. She's been there, done that before. But I've obviously never sat on this horse, and I watched him in Sydney when Schofield rode him, and I watched him when Maloney won on here the other day. And he just had a tendency when the pace came out for his head to go up. It didn't go up today. Yeah, he was a little strong in the run, probably because he was better than him. But his head didn't come up. When, as you know, as a jockey, when the head starts coming up, the petrol tank goes south. So I knew I had a lot there, and I just had to count to 10 and 15 and then let him rip it away. He went.
Excellent job. Well done, Noel Callow.
Earlier on in the week, there's more money on Coleman compared to Far Too Easy overall. And he's found his place in the market, and we're happy to just keep him there. But the punters like to back him. He's obviously got good exposed form, and he's first up and been trialling well. Jetabeel's a $6 chance, and Hidden Wealth $6.50, Freedom Rally $6.50.
Which on the red light, he picks up the button. They're set. Big field, ready to break from the gates. 1,200 metres. Stand by. Racing. Coal Crusher, Freedom Rally, Rothfire, all well away. King Kappa began well. Far Too Easy going forward. He's got good early speed. Bounding and Hidden Wealth on the way forward as well. Followed by Sofrado and then Libertad. Cannonball midfield with Genevieve soon after the start. Then Golden Mile. Coleman fourth last of the first call. Then Waterford, Payline and El Mazzillo. Last of the 16, 15 off the lead. 700 left to run. The gallant Rothfire leads from Hidden Wealth, doing it tough, 3 deep. Coal Crusher protects the rail, and Far Too Easy. Willow's put him into a fourth spot. He's ready to go. Then came a bounding Freedom Rally, a close 6th or 7th on the rail. Followed by King Kappa, Sofrado wide. Libertad, then Cannonball, Genevieve, Waterford, Coleman to the outside, but a long way off them. Then Golden Mile, Payline, and El Mazzillo right out of the centre of the track. The leader was Rothfire. He's giving something. Hidden Wealth on the outside, giving something as well. Libertad and Hugh Johns getting up on the inside. Geneville's running on, and Golden Mile right down the outside. Libertad and Eddie Alon's led. Genevieve shut the gap. Genevieve after Libertad, headed into the line. They hit it, Fano. Genevieve or Libertad from Golden Mile, Rothfire and Waterford running on. Then came Freedom Rally, King Kappa, followed by Payliner bounding, Far Too Easy up at that clump. Then came at the head of the others, Coleman, El Mazzillo, Sofrado, Hidden Wealth, Coal Crusher, and last over the line is Far Too Easy pulling up quickly in Cannonball midfield.
Libertad on the outside of Jedabeel. One stride before Jedabeel, one stride after Jedabeel. But what about on the line? Libertad, at what price? Oh, this is about $70 or $80. We're waiting for the numbers. The camera zooming in onto number 13 on the outside. 13 gets it. Libertad has beaten Jedabeel. The Bob in right on the line, and Golden Mile out under the arches getting third. And look at Rothfire there. Rothy just fading slightly. He's got fourth, and then running on strongly, Cannonball might get that fifth. As we have a look at them turning into the straight, Rothfire, Coal Crusher towards the inside. Hidden Wealth was doing it tough, then Cannonball, the white face of a bounding Libertad is coming through nearer the inside. Jedabeel right behind him. Jedabeel had to switch back towards the inside, so we're looking towards the inside here. Libertad takes the lead. Jedabeel levelled up, put the nose in front, a stride out, but Bernie right on the line. That's where it counts. This has been a big training performance for Libertad. He'd been off the scene for so long, only one run back.
Yeah.
He went okay, but much better today.
Yeah, much better. Back to his absolute brilliant best. And what a clean sweep it has been of the Group 2s here today by Annabelle and her team. And, of course, Rob in there as well. Well done. Was that what you expected with this guy today?
Well, what was he, 80 to 1, I think? Look, he on his old form, I knew he'd be up to it. But we ran him over 1,000 metres a couple of weeks ago, and he took me by surprise how he was just completely ran off his feet. But sort of went back through his form, and I thought we'd actually never ran him over that sort of trip. And he'd been off for a year, but picked back through his form. He's won 2 stakes races, one as two group races, one as a 2-year-old, one as a 3-year-old, and then was placed behind Jolly Star in the Arrowfield. So I knew he had the form on the board, but I just wondered if he was maybe a run short. But the team up here have done a terrific job, and I originally had Jamie Mott booked on Lady Laguna, and I said this morning, sorry, she's gone to Hawkesbury instead. But I'm sure when he looked at the price, he probably didn't think he was in with a chance. But he's the most beautiful colt, magnificent looking horse. He's very talented, and he's only going to improve off that because he's still not fully wound up. So great for Trilogy and all the rest of the owners, and he's still an Entire. So to win a Weight for Age Group 2 race, he's now a 3-time group winner, is very exciting.
You're just looking for that elusive Group 1 with him now. Are you targeting the Stradbroke?
We thought we'd get today out of the way and then work it out. So there's a nice Group 1 in a couple of weeks. Obviously that'll be stronger again, but I'll sit down with the Trilogy team and the rest of the owners and we'll work out a bit of a plan. But just great to get him back on track. He's had a couple of setbacks. Why
did he have a year off?
He had a septic joint. He was lucky to they can be nasty. And then he had a little stress fracture when he came back from that. So hence the long break, but great job by all of the team. And he'd spelled really well down at Blue Gum, but because he's still an Entar, he's just taken a while to strip a bit fitter. But looking at him when I got up here yesterday, I saw him over the stable door and I thought he's finally starting to look fit now. So very exciting.
Well done, Annabelle.
Thank you.
All right, there she is, the star of Eagle Farm today, Annabelle Neesham, 109, 60, 33, 95.
Come on, boy.
Yes, we need him home here in the last. All right, here's David for the lucky last.
In all ups for sure and certain. Sammy Conquers All goes in. A punter comes up the second favourite, the only other runner at single figures. That leaves Fingers Hunter and Kettlebell to complete the line. Kettlebell goes in. Fingers Hunter, who's been backed at odds, is the last one up. We're just about ready at the 1,300 metres, the last on Queensland Guineas Day. There's the light flashing brightly. It's quite dark here at Eagle Farm. They're set. Racing Brisbane. Snack Bar fourth or fifth away, and Miragical won the jump. So Crazy in Love nicely away. Snack Bar now burrowing through to be third, and Moscow Circus on the seed, but a bit wide of the early stages. Then came a putter, followed by Pirata's Gem, Sammy Conquers All, Kettlebell midfielded wide, then Bengal Diamond, followed by Fingers Hunter drifting well back with Ruins of Rome, and Divine Forces last of all. Down the side towards the 800 metres, Moscow Circus pushed on, got the front, Kettlebell second, and Snack Bar's right there nice and third, in a nice third position. Miragical fourth around, and So Crazy Love next. I suggest the speed's only fair in the middle part. Then Sammy Conquers All, followed by a putter, Ruins of Rome, Pirata's Gem the Rail, and the last trio, Bengal Diamond, Divine Force, and Fingers Hunter. They wheel for home, 450 left to run. Moscow Circus led, Snack Bar on the outside, Loom Large. Then came Miragical, followed by Sammy Conquers All. At the head of the others was So Crazy Love, a putter. He needs to a bit more. Bengal Diamond coming right down the outside. This favourite, no good thing as yet. Moscow Circus is kicking. I think Snack Bar's gone. Sammy Conquers All and Pirata's Gem shooting the gap right along the inside. Look at Pirata's Gem fly along the inside and won the last from Fingers Hunter, who followed it home, burst home late. And then Miragical, followed by Sammy Conquers All, a putter running on strongly. Then So Crazy in Love, Moscow Circus weakened. Snack Bar. Yuck.
I've lost IFB.
Oh, okay. We're on nice and early. Yes, Snack Bar, well, look, he didn't have much luck there in the first half, but we expected him to give a little bit better kick. Considering the opposition there, I mean, they've been coming along quite nicely, these horses, but with his profile, he should have been able to win that. Instead, Pirata's Gem, who won first up, sailing home down the outside, but this time CJ Graham bringing her towards the inside there to get up and score $47.30 and $7.50. So a couple of blowouts here today. Now, there's CJ. She's switching back inside the heels of Miragical, and she manages to pull the Persuader through to the right hand, and Pirata's Gem really starting to respond. They are right across the track. Sammy Conquers All in the pink cap in the middle of the track is still there. So we're just waiting for the full list of placings. Fingers Hunter gets through strongly towards the inside. Fingers Hunter appeared to be following the winner, Pirata's Gem, through. So 6 is the winner. Then 12 getting second, and then 4 and 5. 6, 12, 4, 5 in the last. So Pirata's Gem for Chris and Corey Muntz, ridden by CJ Graham. Bernie has won the last race today on Guineas Day.
Yeah, that's right. And the trainers are sharing the interview. So the young one joins us here. Not that your dad's old, but you're very young, Corey. Great effort by this lady here today, Pirata's Gem.
Yeah, I think it's probably the first time she's drawn a nice gate. She was first up at Doomben on a wet track. She just had an unimpeded run, and we thought, well, you know, we might try some of these better 3-year-old races in the carnival, and it was just a sweet ride by CJ, and got up the fence, which they haven't really been doing much of today, and didn't have to cover as much ground as others, and done the job.
Yeah, I'm liking her, you know, patience, the patience that has come to CJ in the last 12 months has been extraordinary, and she's won a lot of races riding them patiently, and that's how this girl likes to be ridden as well.
Absolutely, hit the nail on the head there. We spoke pre-race. We just wanted to let her find her feet. Try and use the barrier to her. Don't give up the barrier, but still just have her relaxed in your hands, and she'll certainly be able to quicken off that. I was actually quite happy with this filly, just quite a little bit early. We just had that little bit of downpour of rain. She just loves getting her toe in the ground, and those little things certainly make the difference.
When we looked at her in the yard, I said to Maxie I wouldn't mind a little bit of the $31 about Pirata's Gem, because as she walked by me, she just looked a lot stronger than most of the field.
I said to Di early on in the week, her work was very good on Tuesday. She improved. We give her a little bit of time out in the paddock in between runs, which was great. And she certainly come on in between runs. So no, today was we certainly weren't coming in here shoulders puffed up and thinking we could certainly win the race. We knew we were hoping to be a chance, because a few of them certainly had some great form lines. So we would have been happy in the first 3 or 4.
All right, a quick chat with your jockey now. CJ, sorry to interrupt you there, CJ, but just live here at the moment. We're just loving your patience at the moment.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I could salute in the last race here, because, geez, it's been a frustrating day. In that previous race, I was very unlucky and the luck never come, but like you said, it doesn't happen every race, but you do have to just go out and put that behind you and be just as patient again in the following race. But a big thrill to get a winner for the Muntz team on a big day like today. They're great supporters of mine, and it's great to get the job done.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, there she is, CJ Graham for Team Muntz takes out the last race here. Disappointing, the favourite. I mean, things didn't really go right for him 3 wide early, and, Craig did have to make a couple of runs on him, but it was set up beautifully for something to come from behind here, and 6 beats 12, 4 and 5, 117.10 home in 34.71. So it was a battle for some and a great day for others. The first day of our Stradbroke season here today, Guineas Day. All honours, of course, with Annabelle clean sweeping the 2 Group 2s on here today. That's it for racing today at Eagle Farm. For Maxie, myself and all the team, we'll say good night. We look forward to seeing you again next week. We're off to the Gold Coast for Hollandale Stakes. Good night.